force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Huh?
Hello friends, I'm Kent Skelton and I'm so glad you are here. Together, we can battle this struggle and find freedom from it all. Life is continuous, and it would be ridiculous to say that you or I don't experience those seconds, minutes, hours, or days that seem like they'll never end. Time continues, regardless of how we feel or what we experience. We search longingly for a way to handle and navigate through these situations we are experiencing. There has to be a way. Indeed, I can find the solution to eliminate these negative experiences and periods of despair I am feeling. Maybe it's not our problems but those of family members or loved ones living in pain. These pains may come from alcoholism, addictions, illness, grief, boredom, and so many other forms. What will we do? Where is that light I'm supposed to be able to see at the end of the tunnel? When will I see it? When will this end? The timing to realize you need help is up to each of us. That's you, that's me. We are each individually accountable for ourselves. We have to make the change, and the timing is now. There's no time like the present to desire and begin that road to recovery. Together, let's reach that freedom from struggle.
Hello, everyone. We welcome you here to Freedom from Struggle, the Reds Roundtable. We got a couple guests with us now. Might have somebody else pop on. We'll just let them join in. And but listen, this today is a day of struggle. I know myself. I've struggled a little bit from the time I woke up this morning and ended up going to a recovery meeting a short time ago. And when I say a short time ago, about 3 hours ago, and sat in there just because I knew I needed something. I needed somebody, some other people to be around and just to listen. I might have spoke just a little bit, but really to listen. Okay. And it was a 12-step thing I went to. And, that's the big thing that Freedom from Struggle. It's about a biblical 12-step study or program. It's based on that. It's biblical, just like AA might be, narcotics, NA might be, or Celebrate Recovery, which I am a member of from First Baptist Church, Biloxi. We meet on Thursday nights. If you're in our Biloxi area, we'd love for you to join. And the cool thing about Celebrate Recovery, anytime that you, it doesn't matter which town you're in. And it's the same with Alcoholics Anonymous. They have apps that you can download, or they have websites that you can look at, and that's Celebrate Recovery or Alcoholics Anonymous. And you can simply look for a location near you, and they're out there. Don't try to fight any of this alone. Once again, I want to thank everyone for this in the listening audience. We're going to be here for you, and you feel welcome to comment in on the platform you're watching, or you can go to the Freedom from Struggle Facebook page. Anyway, we really, really, really appreciate you being here today. I got guest Joey, and which he's got a podcast also here on MBR, and it's called Fire Social Worker.
Well, yeah. Well, the name of the show is going to be Money in the Military.
Okay.
But I kind of have a brand as the Fire Social Worker.
Okay. All right. Well, we're certainly glad you're on here and look forward to hearing a little bit more about you in just a few minutes. Rui, would you like to say something there?
Yeah, my name's Ree, and I also have a podcast on MB Radio, and it's called That Gen X Friend Podcast.
Okay.
So, but I appreciate you giving this, uh, using this platform this way, because legit, I feel you pain, man. I'm struggling today, and H recommended that I should join, so I'm here. Let's talk about it.
Ree, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Hey, and that's exactly right. And I don't know, there's bound to be somebody out there besides just a few of us that are struggling. That's what this is about: freedom from struggle. And we cannot do it alone. You just cannot do it alone. If you can, war, you are something else. And I would not recommend anyone trying it, because there's always somebody out there. Somebody's got your six. Somebody's willing to listen. And of course, there's hotlines you can find in our description, and Freedom from Struggle on Facebook that you can call for help. Okay. And we once again, I mean, this is a show for everybody. Okay. It's not just for alcoholics. It's not just for drug addicts. It's not just for, anxiety, or just for depression. This is for anything. And truthfully, biblically, the 12-step program, it can be seen biblically. I got Bible verses that relate to each step along the way, each principle. I say I've got them. I don't have them. Believe me, I didn't come up with them. Obviously didn't come up with the Bible, but are the steps. But I have the resources for you to find them, and I would love to help you. We mentioned you could comment in at any time, and we'd appreciate you doing that. Military Broadcast Radio, we're going out to several different platforms right now, and we'd love for you to even comment to say where you're calling in from, or where you're checking in from, if you got a time to do this, and share with your friends. Let's get some other people involved with us, and have a regular time here on Saturdays at 3:00 Central that y'all can just take part in and join us. Joey, I just wanted to ask you real quick, if you can give another little background of yourself. You're a veteran, is that correct?
Yeah, I was in the Air Force 14 years. I was originally SATCOM, and then we merged into radios. So we became RF transmissions. So I worked with radios and satellites as a communications technician, and eventually a NCO. I did a lot of random things, but ultimately I was a comm guy, and I did a lot of nerdy comm stuff. And I was stationed in Las Vegas, or Creech, which was north of Las Vegas, for my first duty station. Then I was I went to Korea for a year, went to Osan. Then after that, I was in Misawa, Japan. And then I finished out my time at Travis Air Force Base in California.
Okay. Well, look, man, like I said, once again, we're glad you're here. Ree, have you want to give us a little background on yourself, if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure. So I joined the Army Reserves while I was in high school, and then I wanted to go active duty, but my parents said they shall disown me if I didn't come back. So I came back. I went to college, but then I got them back, guys. I got them back. I had signed a contract for the Marine Corps active duty 3 months before I graduated college, enlisted. I didn't go officer. Right. So I did that for a little bit too. I'm still wondering why I did what I did. I would do it all over again. Maybe not the same way, but I definitely would do it all over again. I didn't do nothing special. I was 31 uniform in the reserves, Army Reserves, and I was data. I fixed computers in the Marine Corps. Not my thing. Not my thing. But you know what? I'm glad that I went to the dark side and joined the crazy crayon eaters. I am a proud crayon eater, and my favorite color is red. There you go.
Well, hey, man, red right here with you. And I like red. I mean, I'm wearing red. I love that MBR shows the red and black on their uniforms, or whatever the brand, dress that they have when they're in studio. Mine's not official here. This is just a copycat, but that's me. Look, I'm red. Once again, I've suffered from alcoholism, anxiety, depression. I've had anger issues, just gambling issues. I've had all kinds of different things. And I know that this 12-step program is what can help me. When I say the alcoholism, I was in the Air Force. I was air traffic controller. I'm an old Mississippi boy. And, but they taught me how to, my teachers thought I'd never make out to anything, looking out, staring out the windows all day long at school, or, you know, walking the halls and all this, and just kind of like I was in a dark room. But look, I did 20 years with the Air Force. I got to look out the windows, an air traffic controller, and got paid. I got to work in the dark room there when the radar approach control. Then a couple little mobile units in the desert, and had a big experience. But in '94, with my drinking, is November '94, it had to come to an end. And this was caused my belief in my higher power. That's God and the Son, Jesus Christ, and Holy Spirit. I couldn't go on with it. Okay. And it wasn't just the commander, the first sergeant, a couple other people that were on location at the time. But, man, I just threw it away. When I say I threw it away, I threw it away. I killed that rest of that little, well, not little, but I mean, beer that I had, and I tossed that sucker. It busted on a rooftop on a cottage down beneath me in the Azores on Santa Rita Hill. And I just looked at him and said, I'm done. I'm finished. I quit, you know. And I wasn't quitting the Air Force. I was not quitting life. I was quitting drinking. I was done with it. And I knew to maintain, to continue to have a family, to continue to have to be a father to my children, to be a husband to my wife, and to be a air traffic controller and active duty military member. It was time to lay it down. Time to lay it down. And of course, you know, that didn't give a complete freedom from struggle. Fortunately, the Lord has seen me through the alcohol for almost 30 years this fall. But believe me, I'll use the 12-step program, and it came easy to me based on my beliefs. You know, I thought I was living right, but I was just really, you know, 5-card poker on Saturday night, church on Sunday morning. And it wasn't paying. You know, I had to change a little bit. So there again, this show, I mean, it's really for sinners. It's really for people that struggle with doing things right. You know, that you want to do things right, but it's hard to do it all the time. We're human. We fail a little bit, but if we keep our mind and our heart in it, we can do better. With these 12 steps, I always try to read the first couple here on the show. We admitted we were powerless over our addictions or compulsive behaviors, and that our lives had become unmanageable. And there's a scripture verse that goes with that. It comes out of Romans 7:18, that I have know nothing that good lives in me, that is in my sinful nature. For I have the desire to do what is good, but I cannot carry it out. And also came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And I could say could restore me to sanity. But for this God who works in you to will and act according to his good purpose. That's also found in the Bible, Philippians 2:13. And thirdly, you just need to make a decision to turn our lives and our wills over to the care of God. It doesn't matter what it is. If you realize you can't do it yourself, you have to have that higher power. What should I say? The higher power is God, my creator, you know, my Father in heaven. And knowing that he can restore us, I go with that, right? But making a decision to turn our lives and our wills over to the care of God or the care of your higher power, okay? I think if you really go through this, it'll really open it up, and you really understand we cannot do this alone. And as we go through these steps, we talk to other people that have already experienced this, or it could be experiencing at the same time in the same steps, you know, have the same sobriety date or have that same date that they started to improve their lives through recovery from their issue and celebrate recovery. It says hurt, habit, or hang up. And I love that because that covers everything. Hurt, habit, or hang up, addictions, smelly feet. You know, there's something you can do about those smelly feet. But look, that's enough about me. This is Military Broadcast Radio. I think we're about ready for a little commercial. We've been on air for about 14, 15 minutes. Military Broadcast Radio, giving veterans a voice. Let's see if our sound guy's got a little commercial for us. We'll be back in just a minute or so.
Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
Too big, wanting to grow up way too quick, searching for spotlights since I was 6. Hello, my name is Dream Too Big. Hello, my name is way too loud. My voice can cut right through a crowd. Got made fun of for it, but who's laughing now? Hello, my name is way too loud. I know I've had my moments and I've had heartaches. God is making miracles out of my mistakes. You can say I won't make it, and I can tell you that I don't really care. 'Cause hello, my name is going somewhere. Far. Lost all my words in a mason jar. Locked eyes with a stranger at the end of the bar. Hello, my name is You'll Go Far. Well, hello, my name is One More Try. I put too much stock in bad advice. 'Cause anything worth leaving is worth loving twice. You're never gonna leave the ground. You can tell us all about it when you come back around. Hello, my name is Get Knocked Down. Hello, my name is Stand Back Up. Keep moving even when it gets rough. I've given so much, but I ain't giving up. Hello, my name is Stand Back Up. I know I've had my moments and I've had heartaches. God is making miracles out of my mistakes. You
expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, we're going somewhere, but we ain't going alone because we're in this fight together, y'all. And it's warfare in itself that freedom from struggle. We, like I said, can't do it alone. That song we just heard, that was by Lauren Rose Thayer. And wow, man, it just really hits home with me. I mean, it's such a good song, and the video is great too. Big Grizz, he's another one of the DJs or hosts on Military Broadcast Radio Talk, and he had a show yesterday that actually had her on it, and I'm sad that I missed it, but from what I understand, it is recorded, so it's out there on the different platforms. You get a chance, check out the Big Grizz show on Military Broadcast Radio. Joey, I have said everything. Well, I'm at a loss of words, not really, but I've shared everything that I really generally love to get out on the show. What have you got? What would you like to share with us, or anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for doing this and giving, like, putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and sharing your stories and your struggles, because I think this is a really great platform and story that you're telling, and you're encouraging people to reach out for help. And that's something in the military community I've observed, as a social worker now, I actually did my internship at the VA, and so I got a little bit of experience and background in this. But what you're doing is really important, because you're giving this whole thing a voice, and you're telling people that you can get help, and you can recover, or you can always be in recovery. But you're doing a really good service, and I'm just honored to be here. I've been watching a lot of your shows and your content when I can jump in and watch, and I just want to say thanks for what you're doing.
Joey, thanks. Thank you. Hey, no doubt this Military Broadcast Radio, it's about giving veterans a voice, okay? Giving them an outlet, things to do, things to shows to watch. But hey, I am that veteran that has disabilities, and I tell you what, this right here is therapy. It's therapy, brother.
Right, and you're getting it out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not nothing, it's not about me. We got another little commercial in there. It goes a long ways. But look, we ain't interested in making money, folks. We just love helping vets. And I just like to, and then there's a big laugh at the end of it. And I don't do it justice. But, this show is not just for the military veteran himself or herself. It's for dependents, okay? Spouses. It's for the rugrats that have grown up a little bit. They might have had a little, time with the experience, the military life through their father or mother being, in the service. They might have lived on base. Only grocery store they really knew growing up was the commissary, and Santa Claus. And they, when they looked to see the toys and clothes they wanted, they went to the BX or the PX. And that's where they found it. So we really are in this love together, because we speak the same language, a certain language. Right. But this freedom from struggle, it's for everybody. If you're eating, living, breathing, man, this can be for you. And I guarantee you, if it's not for you, there's somebody that could use it. Let them know about it. Let them know about those resources I mentioned, like Celebrate Recovery, Alcoholics Anonymous, any healthcare social places around their town most likely have programs where it might be full recovery programs. I can start naming off many that I've heard of just in the South Mississippi area. I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi. But man, I've met so many good people in recovery that otherwise I would have never known. And that's both civilians alone. Anyway, so that's about, that's, like Forrest Gump is all I got to say about that. I got plenty more to say about that. I did mention a while ago, those steps, we made a decision to turn our lives and our wills over to the care of God. Romans 12:1 says, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is a spiritual act of worship. You know, once you do that, you made those decisions. Hey, you are well on your way. Those first 3 steps, I always say, are the most important. I don't know if, Ree, if you've ever been through a 12-step program. Have you ever been through a 12-step program?
Actually, I have. It was a long time ago when. So since this is before I tell a little bit of what I'm about to share, I do want to thank you. You know what I want to say to you is that I thank you for being inclusive of everybody. I wish healthcare insurance and life insurance was like you. It'd be so much easier, right? No exclusions. And I really do appreciate that what you're doing here. I really do, because many people I know, and veterans included, feel like they don't have a place to talk. Just I'm struggling, and I'm not struggling about what you're struggling about, but I'm struggling here. Is there a place? And thank you for providing that space for us to share. Now, for the 12 step, I was in a very abusive. We were dual active duty, but it was very abusive, and in the process of being in that, the military felt fit to put me on everything. I think they threw the book at me and they're like, hey, whatever sticks, if it doesn't kill her, it will shut her up. So, but, I was drinking at the time too, and it didn't help. It did not help. So I went through treatment, and then they put me in this 12-step program, and it at the time it did not help me, because I was still stuck in my own issues. Like I don't want to give up booze. I don't want to give up alcohol. And I did it for a little bit, and I do believe in the steps. I was just not ready. And I haven't gone back since then, but I know that being with a community does help. That's one thing I did learn from that experience.
Right. Well, there's no doubt, and it's, as you probably heard, these first 3 steps we talked about that I mentioned are here at the beginning of the show. You've they haven't changed. I mean, they remain the same, and it's just that we got to share it with people. I thank you for the accolades. I mean, look, like I said, it's not about me. It's about helping vets and the anybody's eating, living, or breathing. Like I mentioned before, this is for everybody. It's it's really gotten to be a somewhat of a ministry for me, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed over so many different reasons. I sit here and think. I said, man, I got so many things going on, yet I do have problems, but you got to keep your mind on the positives, being positive, knowing that just being positive, knowing I'm not perfect. I'm powerless over certain areas of my life, and not in control. You can use these steps to gain control, to live the way that we're intended to live, to be able to enjoy life. But more so, helping others, be able to enjoy life, and just know that we're not, none of us are in it alone. None of us are in this alone. Okay. And if anybody feels like that, I struggle with perfection. I mentioned that before. One time I'm not going to go in there. It's supposed to be a joke, but it's kind of, you can imagine. I thought I was perfect. I thought I wasn't perfect for a moment. You know what I mean? I struggle with perfection. But anyway, it's just, if there's anybody, this is what I was wanting to say. If there's anybody that feels like they don't have any kind of problem, struggle, no hurt, habit, or hang up, they're just pretty much perfect, join us. Come on here, get around Red's round table and share with us, because I tell you what, we could all use the help. Okay. And even if you are that perfect person, like I said, I know you got somebody that's in your life and that could probably use a little help. The bad thing, Joey, I know there's so many, and Marie, I know there's so many times that you hear somebody experiencing this or experiencing that, and life happens. Life happens. Oftentimes we know it that when people have lost loved ones, because it's shared with us, and we know, but then not all the time. Everybody, I have to assume, even though we have smiling face. I try to have a smiling face all the time. I do, but you never know how bad someone's hurting. So we just have to inquire there, and be talkable with folks and just know what we got to do. It's about time we take another break. We're going to be back. Joey, Ree, remember I was talking about that, the strangers, not strangers, but not knowing what someone's going through. We'll talk a little bit more about that right after the break.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Right on, man. That was some headbanging stuff right there.
That was good
For
stuff.
some reason, I don't know. I just had it in my mind to just bang my head, not on something. I'm just going back and forth and back and forth. Like I was seeing it done right in front of me, but then I remembered I got neck problems back there. I better watch. And not to mention, what the problems up here in the head, the big knot, my big potato up here. I got little things going on between the ears. I want to damage nothing, But hey, that video seeing those kids or the dad come home and so how happy those kids were. I do also remember, man, with deployments and being away, man, things change. Things change. People's lives change so quickly. I just had to see that. That was a good song. It relates a lot. And I thank Big Grizz out there on the backside. He's in the cuckoo's nest out there working the sound for us and everything. We really appreciate. None of us do this alone. Even from the top down, man, we're all in this love together in MPR radio together. But
The Big Grizz, I had a request. I don't know if you've got any indie rock bands that are veterans, but I'm looking on the internets for some. But my musical scene is indie rock. So you got any indie rock fans or indie rock bands that have veterans in them?
I don't, but hey, we can just you saying that we can get recommendations. Maybe some people will reach out with us, and get that happening, get them on there, share them, and just show how they're supporting us just from just from being able to witness it, it. Joey,
I did stumble upon go ahead.
Okay. Before we went to break, we're kind of talking, just mentioning what we were talking about, and where you don't necessarily know what someone else is going through. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what Ree's going through. Heck, I don't even know what Ree looks like. You know what I mean? Because she's just a voice on the podcast. But I want to thank y'all once again just for jumping in here. I missed my regular guest. Our invited guest was going to be here, Gary. He had to do something. We had storms going on in the Biloxi area, damage to a house, and he went after him. Helping this. He's better. He ain't through serving. He's out of the service. But he's still a servant at heart, right? And he run out for doing that. And so, but like I said, you don't know what people are experiencing. Joey, you have any experience with that, or what's your maybe recommendations you might have?
Well, like if I'm talking to active duty military member audience, the listeners that are active duty right now, I would say if you're struggling, it makes sense to go get that help while you're in the service. I know it's still frowned upon, but it's something that I'm passionate about, that, while you're struggling in the service, you have all these resources available to you. You just have to go out and seek them. So like if you notice you're struggling with alcohol, then it makes sense to tell your first sergeant or whoever, tell your supervisor, just get it out there, because the resources are available. You just have to be willing to accept them and move forward, that you admit that you have a problem. And that covers mental health too. Like personally, I dealt with a lot of mental health stuff in the military, just depression and it really affected my performance, and affected my personal life, all this stuff. So, and I was really stubborn about getting help when I was in the service. But I was still open to it. I knew that I knew that the resources were available. So I'm just a big advocate for, when I did finally reach out and got help while I was in service, that helped me stay in service, and it helped me deal with things, when I was struggling. But I will say too, there's a cautionary tale in kind of having some pride about, like, there was times where I should have gotten help and I didn't. And then it started to affect my career, and it affected my personal life. And had I accepted that earlier on and actually got help for it, then it might not have impacted my career, and I could have been promoted and things like that. So there was real world impacts on my mental health that, if I had addressed them more proactively while I was in service, because let's be honest, the service is stressful. So there's a lot of mental health stuff that's unaddressed, and it's usually people try to address it through alcohol and things like that. So that's
Right.
where the alcoholism in the military culture, there's a lot of it that still associates with drinking, as a form of stress relief and bonding and building camaraderie and all that stuff. So there's just a lot that I would like to advocate for the active duty. Obviously, they're the tip of the spear. We need to keep them healthy mentally and all that stuff. But then for the veterans who have been through a lot and now they're in the civilian world, there's a lot to do for them too. So we gotta cover both ends of the spectrum here. And that's just something that I'm really passionate about.
Right. Joey, I appreciate that. Yeah, we gotta put pride aside. And we know sometimes they say we ourselves are our worst enemy.
Yeah.
And that's so true, just with regardless of the issue, because if you sit there and hide it, because your pride is going to get in your way, scared you're going to lose your job. Listen, if you're not doing the job to the best of your ability, you're doing a disservice. Really, you're doing a disservice to the military, the other people you're working around. And you need, I do want to say, none of us here are physicians or doctors or even if you are Dr. Laswell, I don't know. No, I don't, any of us, Dr. Skelton here, it doesn't matter what we are here as fellow peers, as brothers and sisters, just trying to be a shoulder to lean on, an ear to hear, so people can voice, what their concerns, their hurts, habits, and hangups, and what helps us. I mean, there's nothing sharing what helps us to recover from any kind of hurt, habit, or hang up. But prideful is not the way to do it. And when you say that, you never know what somebody's what they're feeling inside in their mind, or whatever it is, or what they do when they're off duty or not around other people. We just don't know. But people, you got to go get help. Just get help. It solves everything. It nips, like Barney Fife, you said, nip it in the bud, So anyway, we nip it and we'll get on with it. Okay. And there's another thing I just want to add, Joey, just since you said that. Also, when people, and listen, I'm talking about in daily life and everything, we need to try to, I'm not saying appease everyone or just give in to everyone or feel sorry for everyone or grieve with everyone. But if somebody's sitting there saying they have a problem, don't try to exasperate it, and if I come to you and say, hey, Joey, man, I'm having a lot of trouble with alcohol or something ain't right, I don't feel good. Well, listen, there's probably something wrong. And you got to, you'd have to say, don't say, no, there ain't nothing wrong with you. It's all in your head. Well, with a lot of us veterans, it's all in our heads. And with a lot of people, whether it's civilian life, whatever, we all have those stresses with work, with management, with subordinates. And it causes things in the head. Okay. Look, we're going to be going on a break here in about a minute. Reed, we're going to come back to you if you're still hanging in there. I'm
still here.
Good. I want to hear from you also. I said, when we come back from the break, this is good stuff, So we're saying don't hide it, don't be in denial, don't be scared of it. Sometimes look with my alcohol, I mean, it had to be pushed in my face a little bit before I actually went and got help. But boy, when I went and got help, it changed the world. And it's hard to believe when I sit there and say this almost 30 years later, and but didn't think I could make it a day after I stopped. Really, it was hurting a little bit, but I got through it. Big Riz, let's go on a station break. Let's hear from our sponsors or the station or somebody, and we'll come back and we'll be talking to Reed. Y'all join us.
This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Make it clear that the views expressed by our host are not the official stance of NBR views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
MBRadio.us. I tell you what, that video, that last little video, boy, that just inspired me. Just want to go USA, USA, and really get it going, and just let everybody know, hey, look, we're in this fight, buddy. You know, and look, behind the lines, we want to send our very best to the line, right? And that's why we talk about recovery, making sure everybody's with a clear head, and you got everybody else's support. We want to be tip-top shape, okay? We want to be ready for service, ready for duty, you know, and really to be that one, just like the three of us are here. Well, actually, four of us. How we're here right now. Here, you know, send me. Let's get on this thing and let's share and hopefully, look, if it helps one person out, it's worth doing, okay?
Right.
And if it's just helping me out, I hope y'all think it's worth doing. But Joey, I mean, it doesn't matter, Ree. We're helping each other. We're here together, and I thank y'all for coming in on such short notice to help give veterans a voice. Ree, what do you got? You got anything to share with us? I need to bring something up to get you going, or what you got on your mind?
Oh no! So, by the way, that sound is still in the background. Can you hear it? That horse?
The what sound?
It is. I don't know what's happening, but there's a track that's running that I can hear. Like it's a horse. A mad sounding horse.
I think that's where comments are made, is what I think he might be talking about. Is it a horse or more like a donkey or something like that?
Maybe a mad donkey, but something's happening. Anyways, I'm just gonna try to ignore it. But it's really funny. Anyways, what I was gonna add is that sometimes, you know, when we feel we are alone, so does everybody else.
Right.
And it's hard to approach people. There it goes. It's now shut off. So it's hard to approach people. It's hard to know who to trust, especially if you're active duty, or even if you're not. You don't know who to trust, who's going to be understanding enough to say, okay, it's okay. You know, oh, here it goes again. But who's going to be understanding enough to give you that space so you can share, like the space you're giving us right now. So yes, you might, and I've done this before. I try to put myself out there, and in return, I sort of ran myself right into a brick wall, and it didn't feel good. But what I wanted to say is that keep advocating for yourself. Be the person you want to see in the world. Yes, you know, because you know what that looks like. I know what that looks like. I know what suffering looks like. I know what it feels like. I know that sound. I know that look, right? So maybe when you need someone to talk to, be the person who approaches somebody else. Say, hey, man, you look like there's something going on. You know, are you okay? Do you need somebody to talk to? Yes, sometimes you might have to step out of your own comfort zone to reach out to somebody else to start building that community. But I can guarantee you it's worth it. Don't stop trying, because when we feel isolated and then we don't reach out, we are isolated, and that it's like a vicious cycle. It gets worse and worse and worse. And you know, get to the point where you're sitting in your house all alone and you're in pain. I don't care what it is caused by or who caused it or what caused it. but nonetheless, you are feeling something painful. You're struggling with something, and it doesn't help if you keep yourself isolated. It was hard for me to call in today. Yes, if you want to later after this is over, you can look up the Gen X podcast. You can see what I look like. I actually have an avatar that looks pretty much like me too. So I apologize for just being a circle and a letter right now.
Oh, hey, we
But,
love it. We love it, Ree.
But I really appreciate it. And you know, like I said, I was struggling. And even though I'm not going to share why I'm struggling, just being able to hear other people talk and say, hey, you know what? I've been through this in my own way. It helps. It makes me feel better, like I am not alone. Because in a sense, I am not alone. I'm sitting here with you guys, right?
Right on.
How awesome is that? So thank you.
Well, come on, Ree. I like it. Come on. Hey, that's it. You know, when you it's your choice to be alone. And look, granted, I know there's sometimes, you know, it's good to be alone or time to be alone, you know, to meditate, to you know, it may be in prayer. And I do that a lot, you know. I mean, that's one of my one of those little support type things, you know, one of those crutches that I get and that I'm able to use, thankfully. And it's by his grace, you know. Like I mentioned before, I'm a grateful believer, and I am. And
I pray to God a lot, by the way. I pray,
what's that?
and like I believe in God too, right? You
Yeah.
know, and I pray all the time. And
Right.
I ask God, I'm like, God, I'm like, I know I'm one of your special ed kids. I'm so sorry. Can you
Exactly.
please,
That's what I'm talking
you know what,
about.
right? I'm like, I was not good at land nav, so obviously navigation was not one of my strong points. Can you please give me some specific, very, very direct GPS, you know, directions? I really need that because I don't know what to do. And just being able to voice it to God, even to God, right? Because God's always
Right.
there. God's always listening, even though you may not feel it. Just
Right.
get it out of you. Get it. Sometimes I scream it. Sometimes I say it quietly. Sometimes I'm crying when I'm doing it. But
Right.
me voicing it, at least it's not stuck inside me. You know, when you have something to
Exactly. You
say
let it
and
out. You let it
right,
out.
and
Right.
you ain't got no place to say it, it feels horrible. So
Right.
get it out.
That's
Scream it into your pillow.
Ree, that's biblical stuff. That's step stuff. I mean, look, you don't hide it. I mean, you never know. You know, I mean, it could all roll back to your mom saying, no, you cannot have that baby Ruth. You cannot stop, you know, take that out of the car. You know, you're not getting that today. And you brought another, and I mean that could, you know, not. I mean, obviously I'm exaggerating a little bit, but for somebody that could be a problem. You know, that first time that you were denied something when you'd been used to getting everything, or you know, I mean, you never know but until you dig really deep down inside, and it, who knows what it could be, but it's so much truth in that something started the problem. You know, something started it or escalated something that was already started, you know, but that's the way to get down to the bottom of everything. Of course, that's, you know, a little bit later on. The steps don't have to happen the first day or 2 or 3 you're in there. It could be, you know, some people talk about step 4, step 5. They might be working that for several years, several months. And, you continuously work it, and even when you get to the final, you know, you got to do a daily. Oh, I can't even call the word, but you know, what am I trying to say? A daily routine, or daily, you know, look at yourself, daily look at yourself and say, hey, you know, where am I at? What, you know, and make sure you're right on track, and you got the good plans for the day. You're going to do what you're supposed to do. And just that your mind's right, you're set straight. And yeah, sometimes like our station manager, he says, you know, sometimes there's radio days, you know, for us, even as podcasters, as hosts, There's some days you just can't, you might not be able to do it, you know? And so now, granted, some of those days you might not feel like doing it. You might get the most out of it if you just jump right on in, even if you just listening or, you know, or voicing out what's going on, you know, because you leave it bottled up inside. It's just not good. It's just not good. You know, when you shake up that Mellow Yellow or Mountain Dew or, well, let's just say Dr. Pepper, because every time I open a Dr. Pepper, boy, that stuff's just screaming to get out. It always spews on me, you know. And I like Dr. Pepper, don't get me wrong, but if you open that top, it comes out, you know. But yeah, we got to let stuff out, and it's so important. Just so important. Joey, you got anything else you're going to share? We got just a couple more minutes before we're going to have to close.
Well, I would just advocate again for battle buddies and wingmen, whatever you want to call them. You know,
Right.
looking out for your fellow service member. And I'm thinking active duty right now once again, but I'm just thinking, you know, I feel like you have an obligation as a wingman that if you see something going on with your partner or your coworker or even your supervisor, if you see something that's not right, you have an obligation to say something, you know, and it does take courage. It takes, you know, it may be uncomfortable, but I think that would help out a lot too. If wingmen stood up and started like actually calling out their buddies, you know, and just saying, hey, I think you might be drinking too much, you know, like just laying it out sometimes. Because sometimes people need to hear it. They probably are thinking it. They just need to hear it out loud. And
Right.
I think, yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Finish up.
Oh, I was just going to say that I think that, having more accountability for each other will maybe help a lot of people in the long run too.
Right. Be observant of everyone around. You know, I think in the military we've taught to being eagle eye, you know, and stuff like that. And I've always try to be observant. Now, just cause you see my hair in so much disarray right here, man, Red, you're having a bad hair day. You know, let me know. But hey, truthfully, when I tell you, well, the bad hair day is just because I didn't shower and wash it, you know, and I just threw a hat on. It's bed head, you know, if you know what I mean. So Red's got the bed head today. Look, once again, I want to thank y'all for being here. Ree, Joey, thank you so much for taking times away from your family, your significant other, or whoever, or just from the enjoyment of your day for being here with us. Same with Big Grizz behind the scenes. And Military Broadcast Radio, can't say enough good things about it, okay? It's giving veterans a voice. It's giving veterans a voice that we can shout out there, hey, to the world. Right now, listen, we have no idea who we're communicating with, who's listening, okay? We never know who's listening, who's watching, and we're thankful you're out there. We're thankful you're hearing or seeing. It doesn't matter which one you're doing, but share this with others. Please share, because we don't need to be keeping secrets. We don't need to keep this to ourselves. Freedom from Struggle at Red's Roundtable on Military Broadcast Radio. Y'all come back to see us. We're going to come back to you.
That's the show for today, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. And remember, you can listen to us again and again. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight, anywhere that you can get your podcast episodes. And thanks for joining us today. I'd like to take a moment to talk about something close to my heart. Military Broadcast Radio is doing incredible work to support our veterans and bring their voices to the world. They rely on your generous donations